Babylon and come. It's if you leave Babylon and come. Give thanks and praise for the moment. Welcome to the Ancestral Rock.
And in its programs, the following communities will receive first priority: those who continue to be denied free and open access to the broadcast media, and those who suffer oppression or exploitation based upon class, race, sex, age, creed, sexual orientation, disability, or immigrant status.
WRFG operates on the frequency of 89.3 megahertz as authorized by the Federal Communications Commission. Opinions expressed on WRFG do not necessarily represent the opinions of Radio Free Georgia Broadcasting, Inc., its staff, or volunteers. This program contains language and/or information which may be strong for some listeners. Portions of this program are pre-recorded. Discretion is advised.
Funding for this program is made possible by listeners like you and the following sponsors. On Saturday, August 16th at the Green Forest Community Early Learning Center in Decatur, Africa Told by Us brings the vibrant culture of Mali to Atlanta. It's a celebration full of energy, culture, and connection by experiencing the rich traditions of Mali with live music, Malian food, handcrafted gifts, and artwork. The day features performances by poets Teresa the Songbird, Abyss, and Georgia Me, along with the dynamic rhythms of Soweto Street Beat, Keandra Richardson, and George Levitt. There will be red carpet photos and a viewing of the trailer for the new upcoming documentary series, Africa Told by Us. That's Saturday, August 16th at the Green Forest Community Early Learning Center, located at 3250 Rainbow Drive in Decatur. For ticketing information, the website is tinyurl.com/ATBU2025.
From watching people run into and fro. But if you ask them where they're going, half of them don't know. And they're the ones who think I'm crazy, but they don't realize that I'm just grooving, grooving our own life. Keep on grooving, grooving till I die. See a river flowing by me, headed for the sea. I get the feeling deep inside me. It's so good to be free. And I get sunshine in the daytime and moonlight every night. That keeps me grooving, keep me grooving, yeah. Grooving till I die. Keep on a grooving. Don't stop. stop moving. Grooving out on life.
You never will conquer the champion. Compromise.
I get my kicks from watching people gone into and fro. But if you ask them where they're going, half of them don't know. And they're the ones who think I'm crazy, but they don't realize that I'm just grooving, ooh, grooving, grooving out all life. Keep on grooving, grooving, grooving till I die. See a river flowing by me, headed for the sea. I get the feeling deep inside me. It's so good to be free. And I get sunshine in the daytime and moonlight every night. That keeps me grooving, keep me grooving, yeah. Grooving till I die. Keep on grooving. Don't stop moving. Grooving out on life. Everybody keep on grooving. Don't stop moving. Grooving out all night. Keep on grooving. Grooving. Grooving till I die. Keep on moving. Moving.
Lord, when you laughing, if you didn't do nothing but just sit in the mirror for 4 hours once a week and did that, healing starts. You see, when I laugh, I use certain muscles, and those muscles pinch certain nerves, and those nerves trigger an oil that's dropped into my body that keeps me younger. When I frown and tighten up, I use certain muscles, and those muscles pinch certain nerves to drop some gas into my body that will destroy the cell structure. When you come on, when you laughing, if you didn't do nothing but just sit in the mirror for 4 hours once a week, you did that.
Ever living, ever loving, just ever faithful. This guy is ever sure. Rastafari. God be better telegram, no one from the motherland. This a telegram, it's if we leave a Babylon. Say if we leave Babylon and come. That man if we leave Babylon and come. Say we have a chance, Hosanna to the highest. Yes. Say we have a chance, Hosanna, sing it in the highest. That man if we leave Babylon and come. Let me believe Babylon and come. Because a judge is a lion, as far as a conquering lion. have to leave Babylon and come. Until this to me, not to me, son. Get to me, daughter, and never be gone. Wanna leave Babylon and they falling down, I said falling down. Babylon, hold downtown, is a falling down. They hold downtown, is a falling down. Never leave Babylon. We're poor, Ashe. We're poor to the creative spirit, the great Ashe out of which we all emerge, Ashe. We pour to that creative spirit by whatever name we know it, whatever name you hold in your heart, in your mind, whatever name your ancestors gave, whatever name you learned as a child, whatever name you believe it to be, whatever name you believe it to be in spirit or in science, Ashe. We pour to the first human beings who came into existence on this planet, the first human beings who raised the first structures, who cooked the first meals, who taught the first children, who had the first children, the first Africans, the first people who stood upright, who walked, who figured out how to stay on this planet, who figured out how to pass that knowledge on to their children and their children's children, the mothers and fathers of civilization, Ashe. We pour the next libation to their grandchildren, their children's children, those who raised the great early civilizations of Kemet and Kush and Monomotapa, the great medieval civilizations of Ghana and Mali and Songhai and Kanem Bornu. We pour to those who the great civilizations of the Igbo people and the Hausa people and the Kikongo people and the Mabara people, the great Mande civilizations, the great Kikongo, the great civilizations of Southern Africa, the Bantu people, the great civilizations of Southeast Africa, the Dinka, the Shilluk, the Noor. We pour to those millions who raised the foundations from which the world would learn what it meant to be human in the world, Ashe. We pour to their children who upon the arrival on the shores of people they had never seen before, found themselves captured and marched overland, found themselves perishing by the millions before they were held on the holding cells and the open air pens on the coast of West, Central, Southern, and East Africa. We pour to the ancestors who did not know as they were stripped of all clothing and sent denuded into boats, packed like animals, and strewn their bones across the floor of the Atlantic and the Indian Ocean. We pour to them who in the last moment on Africa grabbed the sand and grabbed the dirt and put it in their mouths and understood that the only thing they might have to preserve their place in that continent was their memory of that place and their ability to pass it on to their children. We pour to them, Ashe.
Ashe.
We pour to those Africans and their children who finding themselves cast adrift in Santiago, Cuba, who found themselves cast adrift in Porta, Spain, Trinidad, and Port-au-Prince, Haiti, who found themselves cast adrift in New Orleans and Charleston and Mobile, who found themselves cast adrift in Salvador, Bahia, who found themselves cast adrift in Barbados and the archipelago that formed the wayward and the windward coast. We found them in these places learning Portuguese and Spanish and French, whose often first words was, "Oh my God, oh Madre de Dios," who found themselves praying to survive and pass on to their children the memories. We pour to those ancestors who are represented in the thousands, buried in all the square miles of where we stand, and who sit here, buried before us in 400 caskets forged of wood from West Africa with Adinkra symbols. Each one of them, each woman, man, and child, symbolic of millions. The children of those who could not be killed, we pour, Ashe.
Ashe.
We pour to their children who somehow survived the hells of enslavement and fought for emancipation in the Caribbean, the French, British, Dutch Caribbean, who fought for emancipation in South America, who fought for emancipation in Central America, who fought the struggles we refer to as the Civil War in the United States, who came out of that, marched out of enslavement through Reconstruction, and found themselves making great migrations, eventually ending up in places like New York. Their children's children, who making a way for themselves became our great-great-grandparents, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, our parents. Those who, when the first bones were discovered in this space, held their hands and said, "Stop, no more." We are here to speak for those who can no longer speak with their mouths. We pour for those ancestors, some of whom came to Howard University in 2004 and followed these caskets all the way back to New York.
the ones whose names we know and the ones whose names we don't. And at this moment, as we pour this libation, I would ask anyone who feels comfortable to say the name of someone in your bloodline who is no longer physically here, but who you know made it possible for you to be here. Go ahead, let's hear the names. Haywood Carl.
Rastafari, ever living, ever loving.
We pour to the names that we hold collectively. Ganga Zumba in Brazil. Toussaint Louverture, Jean-Jacques Dessalines, and Henri Christophe in Haiti. We pour to the great Avengers, Nanny of the Maroons of Jamaica. We pour to the great ancestors, Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth, Frederick Douglass. Say the names that you study. Who are the names of the ancestors that you have come to hold in your heart and your mind as you hope that you can do what they did for us, for your children and children's children? Let's say some of those famous names. Malcolm X, Lou Hamer, John Henry Clark, John G. Jackson, Jacob Carruthers. And finally, two final libations. We pour to those who make it possible for us to do what we do. We pour to these rangers who stand guardian over this sacred space. We pour to these Africans and these folks who have come from Howard University, the staff, the faculty, the administrators who brought us here today to bear witness. This is not a libation, but an affirmation, because their hearts still beat, their tongues still speak, their minds still think, and their minds still wish the best for us. We pour for all of those people who surrounded us on this journey today and made it possible for us to be here. We pour this affirmation of thanks, Ashe.
Ashe.
And finally, we pour to your children's children's children who will one day stand on this space and speak your name. Ashe.
Ashe.
Slow mo, Rastafari roots and brains, and we're going where the green grass grows. On to Zion we go. Thine I can't move slow, no. Repatriation is a must, and we're going where the blessings flow. All the land of righteousness. Leaving this land of sinfulness to where righteousness cover the earth like water.
Truly, for every little girl and boy, every boy and girl, salutations to the world. We give thanks for the moment, the opportunity to be here together once again on a Thursday afternoon. You tune into the Ancestral Rock. Standing on the shoulders of giants, living the science, you know, forwarding and continuing the cycles, playing our part. So we're grateful to have the collective energy where we can collectively play our part, you know, touching on some things that are pertinent to our lives. Yes, we're so grateful for WRFG Radio, public education at its best, 52 years strong. Seeing? Stay tuned to yourself. We're here until the 4 o'clock hour.
Mama Africa so sweet, coming home to me. Because I come from sweet Mama Africa, when we go sail up the sweet Magaria, we come forth with God in our heart to make Babylon a fall. Because I come from sweet Mama Africa, when we go sail up the sweet Magaria, we come forth with God in our heart to make Babylon a fall. Wish I could see the story when so Africans have been thrown. They were taking my way into captivity. They suffered the pangs of slavery. Oh God, what? And I'm Mama Africa so sweet, coming home to me. Because I come from sweet Mama Africa, when we go sail on the sweet River Africa, we come forth with God in our heart. Because I come from sweet Mama Africa, when we go sail on the sweet River Africa, we come forth with God in our heart. Yes, you know it's doing well. Oh, Africans have been through hell. They were taken away into captivity. They suffered the pangs of slavery. I stopped at the Holy Island and got about to overstand.
Again, you're tuned into the Nation Sound Station. It's a salutation to the nation, you know. Respect due. All Massive and crew.
We come forth with God to break Babylon apart. Me just a come from sweet America. When we go sail up the sweet America. Me come forth with God to tear Satan apart. Well, I tell them I tell me good night. And I don't like how they come just from sky. But I don't think I'm a little bit better. The original and that we confirm. When people there's a conspiracy to disturb that man's history and dig up with the agency. Black people, you are royalty. They come from sweet America. But we go sail up the sweet America.
Today must be my day. Like payday. Hey. Up the hill, up the hill, up the hill of a strong mind. You just chill, take your time, it's a long climb. Obstacles in on your way, in order to keep them at bay. Never watch you what they say. You turn, go on your way, hey. You're a survivor, You're a survivor. You want to say, be stronger, cause you're a survivor. This is survival time. You are a survivor. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hey. What you say, what you do when a youth man go astray. Look at me, look at you, and you will see the way. Loving every day, hey. Bring the youth them up in the right way. Ooh, no.
Serious as that, you know. It's as simple as that, man. The man called Jamali on the microphone stand, musical disc called Up the Hill. And a respect due to all the Kulima, all the Walimu, who teach the youth them skill, you know, all the community. Living I and I self.
Don't know what to do or even what to say. There's something you can do about it to keep them at bay. Get down on your knees and pray. Hey, all the survivors now.
Man called Jamali on the microphone stand, and that was that, and this is this. Big, big, big tune. I tell you the truth, youth, we got to give thanks and praise for the opportunity to see and know, you know. It's simple as that. Life is a thing you see and you know. Experience teach wisdom. We're grateful for the wisdom teachings. Listen this now. Theme music, you know.
Up in the hills where them call from home. The evening when the sun gone down. Breeze a blow cool and everything calm down. You never forget that we back. Up in the hills where them call from home. The evening when the sun gone down. Breeze a blow cool and everything calm down. Never forget that we back. When evening come, me say me touch the background.
When me touch the ball, I feel
round the corner. Stand up firm, get the youth no fall down. What's better town people from around?
oh, what a wonderful feeling.
We see my people gather around in the evening. On side of the mountain is being done. People are rejoices like we did not your kingdom. These are not the can say. Up in the hills are where we call from town. In the evening when the sun gone down, breeze a blow cool and everything calm down. You never forget that me background. Up in the hills are where we call from town. In the evening when the sun gone down, breeze a blow cool and everything calm down. You never forget.
PZ, little hero, big up yourself, bless up yourself. Brethren and brethren, soldiers in the battlefield, you know. Soldiers of love, as Shade Aku say. Soldiers of love. Singing about the hometown. Everybody got one.
Nothing all when them ear gun sound. The people them from Tinder all the wall of them come down. Police from St. Anthony, police from Brownstown. Can't take to get the youth speak loud. Up the hills are where them call from town.
And of course, one big up our farmer. Naturally, big up our farmer. Cultivators. Feed the nation.
Even when the sun gone down, breeze a blow.
All the gardeners, you know, the sacred gardeners. PZ and Little Hero singing about their hometown up in the hills.
The Calabar and round on the east side, watching my husband to walk you, them not take no right.
Coming to the core, we love to touch on the heart of the matter, you know. We give thanks for the opportunity to be here this afternoon with you all. This is WRFG Atlanta, 89.3 on the FM dial. We have a very special guest getting ready to touch in with someone who is not a stranger to many of you all. And at the same time, it's just always a beautiful opportunity to have a reminder. And also for many of you who you'll be checking him out for the first time, you'll see, you know, what the fond vibration is all about, because we're talking about someone who is serious. And these are serious times. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give him some intro music right now, because he is a musician. He would appreciate the fact that I'm out here grooving to the groove and have to look up at the clock and say, wait, hold up, selector. So before I introduce him officially, I want to give you this from our Empress. And then we're going to come forward with someone special and talk about our liberation. Not just even really talk about it. I want to restate that. We're going to remember some beautiful aspects of ourselves and realize that proverb we keep on repeating week after week. You know, we don't plan it that way, you know, it's just so the times go. if your only tool is a hammer, you treat every problem like a nail. You know, if your only tool is a hammer, we treat every problem like a nail. So imagine if you gain some more tools in your tool book. After this, special guest by listen to music, y'all. Theme music.
Strengthen your mind. We're living in serious times. It's such a mysterious time. We're living in serious times. So strengthen your mind. We're living in serious times. It's such a mysterious time. We're living in serious times. You do not know if your friend or enemy or a friend. Right now things are hectic, so who is serious or playing tricks? We prefer meditation. Don't stop in nothing foolish. Keep your heart clean and strong. Let your God self be established and strengthen your mind. We're living in serious times. It's such a mysterious time. We're living in serious times. Strengthen your mind. We're living in serious times. It's such a mysterious time. We're living in serious times. Take this advice a mother once gave to her son. Give not all your strength unto the lecherous woman. No to the ways that can destroy a true king man. Cause Delilah's on the prowl and she's a deadly one. So strengthen your mind. We're living in serious times.
Go to the VI. Go to the VI. Go to the Rock. Desiree. Big tune from Forward in the Day. Very relevant tune. I'm laughing to myself as I get ready to introduce my guest that I could imagine. It's a gentle laugh. I could imagine that some people, when they hear that song, you might be thinking, you're getting ready to talk about wars and rumors of wars and discuss, you know, a lot of the really terrible things that we may be feeling are happening in the world. So I want to tell you, I just want, manage expectations from the jump. We're here to celebrate life. Serious times and some serious opportunities, some real life, for real, as the homies would say, for real opportunities for liberation. That's the serious times. And we're here with Doctah B Sirius because, it only makes sense. We're talking about serious times. I want to bring this music all the way down and introduce him officially. He is a community healer, and that's a word that we don't use lightly. That's his function. Name follows nature. Name reflects nature. Doctah B Sirius is a healer in many ways, in many facets, with many tools, as I would say. Also, Baba, a husbandman of the land, a comedian, and a very beautiful person who we had the honor of meeting years ago. It seemed like almost a decade now. And actually, first interaction with him was in the studio, or not in the studio, but in the same building where WRFG is, when he came out from Los Angeles and had a beautiful, soul-stirring conversation with the family. And we've just been very much so glorifying in his works, giving thanks for the light that he shined and the darkness. He's also one that has reminded us that as much as enlightenment is very crucial and beautiful, we also would do well to embrace the endarkenment. And I believe that's where we're going to go today, to the core. But you know, they say in the heat of the fire is the coolest place in the universe. In the deep in the womb is where you get the most light. Wow, Doctah B Sirius is in the building. Give thanks, Doctah B. Welcome to the Ancestral Rock.
It's good to be here. Good to see you. And it's an honor to be on your program once again.
Give thanks. I'm glad to have you. You're looking good, Bubba. You're looking good, man. I ain't seen you in the flesh in a while.
Well, you know, we're all out doing what we need to do, playing in the sun. And, you know, that sun gives you energy. You know, you put your feet on the ground and
radiating.
You do what you got to do and move past opposition.
I say. You just said something that I want to get. I'm going to jump right into right there. As we always say, you know, your resume is truly long in terms of what you've accomplished in our community, what you've really brought to us and helped to share with us. So we'll let that conversation be the introduction, per se, for those who don't know you. You know? But when you say opposition, right away, I was thinking of Florence Scovel Shinn and somebody else who was, you know, but the idea that truly in the true reality, one of the things that is important, imperative for humanity to shed, maybe, if you want to use that word, and this time is the whole concept of opposition. And I know that comes with a whole context, you know. And then you just said balancing, you know, doing what you do to balance through, and you use that same word, opposition. What do you mean by opposition? Because I'm saying, put it in layman's terms, you know, that's something especially in the spiritual community right now, that is a very prevalent teaching. When I say spiritual community, that's a wide umbrella, but you know, people who are stepping outside of the box. That's a general teaching that, you know, it's like what the true reality is oneness. So there is no separation. There is no opposition.
See, our minds have been programmed and prompted by our experiences. Mm. When we were young, a lot of us heard how hard it was going to be successful, how tough it was going to be married or to find love or to be wealthy. We learned a lot about the language, or we were taught the language of disempowerment. And because of that, we began to believe in struggle. We join the struggle. And if we are in that, then that struggle continues and follows us throughout our lives, because there's a part of the brain called the RAS system, like a Rastafari, but RAS is the reticular activating system. And it's a physical part of the brain that's a filter. And what it's doing is it's listening to you. You're the captain. You're the CEO. It's listening to you, and it's also sensing what you're focusing on. And whatever you're focusing on, the reticular activating system begins to look for evidence. It looks for more of that thing, looks for more things that are like it. It's like a magnet. So let's say you start thinking about having a farm. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden you start noticing farms, and in your neighborhoods, people got farms or they've got gardens on their patios, and you start noticing plants because you're focusing on plants. So what you focus on expands based on you and your mindset. So in reality, there is no separation. Everything is oneness. But in our mindset, in the way we've been programmed, we believe in opposites. Mm-hmm. And everything has its opposite. Mm-hmm. Everything. If you have black, then there must be white. If there's up, there must be down. Mm-hmm. If there's back, there's forth. This is going to be a part of your life because that's what we believe from our reality, from our small spectrum of what we can sense, what we can feel. So it's real because you say it's real. When you realize that everything is about opposition, or there is always opposition, and you know that, then you know that whatever you choose to move towards, to create, to have. The shadow or the opposite of it exists also in your mind. When you're climbing a mountain, gravity is attempting to pull you back. The only thing that keeps you going is your mindset, your perseverance, your focus that you're going to reach the top. Because everything is designed to test you. And those tests are going to make you stronger or break you down. Those tests, that opposition is important, because if you just look at anything that stays the same deteriorates over time.
Gotta get the muscle test.
Entropy. If something stays the same over many years in time, it begins to degrade. If that thing is upgraded, like a home, you ever see houses that have been sitting for years, no one lives there? They just start falling apart. But if somebody's living there and they're gradually doing upgrades to that home, then it looks good. I mean, it doesn't have to be big. It just has to have upgrades. The same thing happens with us. If we are not upgrading, then we begin to go through entropy and fall apart. Well, entropy happens when the opposite is pulling on it. When you choose, let's say you choose to be wealthy, the same thing in your mind is happening that we call poor. Some people want to be rich, but poor still got them. Mm-hmm. It's a mindset. But once you have a goal, and once you're able to have the perseverance to reach that goal, no matter what, no matter how many storms, no matter how many people are talking against you, you've got to be able to stay focused on that goal no matter what. Here's the key, though. Here's a special piece. In order to move out on your goals, and some of your goals may be considered impossible, especially to your community, your friends, the people that you're around, they're going to be saying, maybe you're crazy. Nobody in our family ever went to college. Nobody. How are you going to build your own farm? You don't even have any land. People begin to say things and become the opposition. And especially if you ask other people for validation about this thing that you desire to achieve, or even if it's something that you were naturally born to do. A lot of us have natural talents. We were just born to do it. We have a passion for it. But often what happens throughout life is people begin to what? They leave their passions behind because somebody says, oh, that's childish, or you got to grow up, because we're believing in the value that they have on our lives. Mm-hmm. You're looking for them to agree. But when you choose a goal, the opposition pops up automatically. And here's what's important. Sometimes you got to leave where you are. You got to leave the town. You got to leave the family. You have to go to somewhere unfamiliar, because there is the change and the shift that's going to push you forward, because you don't know the new place. This is creating resistance. The resistance is the thing that creates success.
Right.
The problem is what creates the solution. But if you're talking about the problems 80% of the time, and only 20% of the time you're talking about solutions.
And here we have the world we're living in. We're live with Doctah B Sirius on the Ancestral Rock, as you can see, coming in hot. I'm going to pause to make this musical public service announcement. I know the good doctor would appreciate of this as well. And we're going to come right forward to get to the meat of the matter. We're going to talk today about getting to the core, core healing. And in the meantime, in between time.
I mentioned that the friend of mine would be back on to do a number. Right now, one of the top songs in the country is from an album of the same name called Wake Up Everybody. And I would like to have the man who has the big hit on it do it for us. And I'm so happy again, just to say that pleased that they're here with us. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the man, Mr. Theodore Pendergrass.
this song to everybody that might be watching, listening, or if someone tells them, because I feel we all have something to do about the way that the world is today. Everybody, no more sleeping in bed. No more back to thinking, time for thinking ahead. The world has changed so very much from what it used to be. There's so much hatred, war and poverty. Whoa. Wake up all the teachers, time to teach a new way. Maybe they never listen to what you have to say. They're the ones who's coming up, and the world is in their hands. When you teach the children, teach them the very best that you can. The world won't get no better if we just let it be. Na, 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 na. The world won't get no better. We gotta change it, just you and me. Wake up all the doctors, make the old people aware. They're the ones who suffer and who catch all the hair. They don't have so very long for their judgment day. Won't you make them happy before they pass away? Wake up all the builders, time to build a new land. I know we could do it if we all lend a hand. Only thing that we have to do is put it in our mind. Surely things will work out. They do it every time. The world won't get no better if we just let it be. Na 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 na. The world won't get no better. We gotta change it, just you and me. Yeah, yeah. Change it, just you and me. Change it, yeah. Can't do it alone. I need some help, y'all. Can't do it alone. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This song is dealing with the problems of the world today.
WRFG Atlanta. Teddy Roosevelt. Teddy Roosevelt. Right. Stuff, all right. Teddy Pendergrass. With big respect.
We can start at home. Maybe one day, maybe we won't see this world change in our lifetime.
With a message for the masses. We're going to be right forward right after this with Doctah B Sirius. Stay tuned to yourself on the Ancestral Rock. If you're in the car around Atlanta, you got to go into the house or getting back into the office or wherever you are, take it all the way down, select all the way down. If wherever you are, you can tune in online as well. You know, if you need to get out of the car, WRFG.org is the website. Stay tuned. I did that too.
Okay, cool. Wait, 3, 2, 5. Yeah, 3, 2.
To create and share cultural traditions, committed to supporting diverse artistic voices, the Arts Exchange provides multicultural, multidisciplinary, and intergenerational opportunities for learning and creative expression through workshops, exhibits, and community-driven events. To learn more about the programs and initiatives at the Arts Exchange, the website is artsexchange.org. That's ARTSEXCHANGE.org.
tsxchange.org. This has been another public service announcement brought to you by your listener-sponsored and supported community radio station, 89.3 FM and WRFG.org, your station for progressive information and hand-picked quality music.
Much respect to the family of the Arts Exchange. Big community pillar. You know, so much of our history is intertwined. We're at WRFG same way. On the phone line with us, on the live wire with us, can't even say the phone line, Doctah B Sirius, and we're just touching base, you know. Doctah B, I want to pull all the way forward because we just jumped right all the way in, and it's all good. You know, that song was a reset in some ways, you know, energetic reset to bring us back to this whole concept of wake up everybody, the age of Aquarius, the inner light, you know, shining the light, freeing up ourselves, finding liberation, finding peace. This discourse is what we hear amongst our people every day, you know. That's the thing. I remember in a lecture Dr. Martin Luther King was giving, it was called A Knock at Midnight. It's called A Knock at Midnight, powerful sermon. In a nutshell, he was talking about how the popular books of the time were, you know, all books dealing with how to find a higher meaning of life. And we're in another time like that right now. That's the thirst. And so in some ways, some things become cliche and they lose their sting. So I was thinking about, you know, you're being here today and the program that you are curating, and that whole concept again of finding more tools in the toolbox, you know. But let's start with the beginning though, Kai. How are we gonna wake up if we don't know we sleep? So what is the evidence? What is from Dr. B's perspective, the state of the world in a very truncated version, that song is still relevant? And of course, we're going to, if it's relevant, whether or not it's relevant in this time, the possibilities, what that looks like in terms of really waking up, you know. But first, I don't even want to assume that everybody watched the TV or is tuned into what you tune into. I'm sure it's not on TV, you know. What does Dr. B see, in essence, as the state of this world relative to a song like that? Why is that relevant?
First of all, I think and I feel and I know that we are in a renaissance. We are in a time of opportunity like we may not have known before because we're being tested. And whenever that test comes, that lets you know that you have a chance to change everything. So listen to the song. Let's listen to the hook. The world won't get any better if we just let it be. Just stop right there. He's talking about entropy. If you don't do anything, the world won't get any better. What is the world? The world is not the earth. It's your world. The world is your world. There is no, the planet and the earth and Gaia and all the different names. That's not, those are the place, but this is the space in between your ears. That is the world in your head. The world will only get better. Your world will only get better when you begin to change. In order to change, you need to realize that there is a field of energy that is opposite of everything you attempt to do. So this gets you out of the mindset, oh, I'm a victim and this is what they did, because that's easy. What are you going to do? How are you going to change your life? Are you ready to go down into the core where the matter really is. There's a matter and matters deep in our core. Each of us we all have our own perspective. We say, well, that's just the way it is. No, that's the way it is to you. So being able to go down to the root and feed the root is how you're going to change the fruit. You can spray all kind of things on the fruit. Spray the leaves. They got all these, nutrients. But what about the soil? What about the roots? Your nervous system is like your roots. Your brain is like the seed. And the roots are in the soil, and the soil is your body, and that's your earth. So what you're eating matters. What you're thinking matters. Who you're around matters. And what matters the most is the environment of your mind. And we, based on the way we were raised or what we went through, we could think that that's it. That's giving me evidence that I got bad luck, or I'm this, or I'm this color, and I'm that color. I'm short in the world of tall people. I'm black in the world of white people, or I'm up in the world of down people. We always have these things in our heads about who we are. But all that can be changed. It can be changed once we realize that the heart of the matter is down in the basement called the subconscious.
I mean, stick up here, right? I really love where you're going there. And I was just reflecting on my question. Like, again, how do we recognize imbalance? I think of Harriet Tubman, who was reported to have said that there could have been so many more people that she helped to liberate themselves if they knew they was in bondage. Just thinking of that as an analogy, whatever way you want to slice it. And I'm thinking, it's just like being able to recognize a parasite in the body. There's ways. So as we are getting into how we balance things out, this is the workshop you're presenting, and that seems like a really tasty treat. You know what I mean? That seemed like some empowering vibes for real. First and foremost, again, how does one really recognize? What are the warning signs or some telltale signs, if you will, of the need for a checkup, the need for a balancing, the need for... Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, that's it.
Okay. In the old world, we needed to look for the problem.
Mm-hmm.
We were told to look where it started.
In the root, yes.
In the new world, it doesn't make any difference where it started.
Drop it like it's hot.
You have parasites. You can't live you wouldn't be here without opposition. There is beings and energies out there that's pulling against you. Know it.
Just know it and just consider it a given. And
when you leave home today and go somewhere, you have a destination. But guess what? So many things are going to be happening. The traffic, this happens, a storm, an accident up ahead. All kinds of things are happening in your environment to test your resolve. You have to be focused on winning. One thing about winners, they never give up. They fail forward.
Right.
An old African proverb, to stumble is not to fall, but to move forward quickly. Mm-hmm. It's going to happen. A child is going to fall down and get hurt. Now, we want to protect the child. Well, don't eat dirt. If the child doesn't eat dirt, then its body can never recognize some of the bacteria that it needs to recognize. If we don't fall down and get hurt, sometimes we don't have any template to move forward on. Mm-hmm. So just know that it comes with the system. Just know that even if you don't feel toxic, there's toxins in everything. Even when the earth was supposedly perfect, there was toxins in the air. Plants put out toxins. There's mushrooms that just the spores, you breathe them and you're out of here.
Period.
Right?
Absolutely.
Even a lot of the plants that we use, right, in healing are toxic in high doses. In fact, some of the best ones, you take too much and you're going to be down in the soil. You're going to be part of the soil. You're going to be humus. So it's about measurement. Medicine is about measurement. That's what medicine actually means. Measurement. How much, how little. And we all have to be alchemists and constantly burning off all the things that are no longer desired in our life.
Absolutely.
So,
I love how you put that, though. Give thanks. I'm glad I persisted to ask the question again. The way you just stated it, it releases the world from that mind mess to even get into the, as you say, into the field, because so many times anticipating the problem, you know. And so how you just put that, how you just articulated that, makes it very clear that first and foremost, perspective is everything. You know, perception is everything, and when you know the environment you're dealing with, you already have a sense of the necessity to keep balance, to keep refining, because there's parasites. There's a living, dynamic reality that we're walking in. So it doesn't make it seem like it's you against the world,
or the world against you,
or the world against you. You just knowing that now, okay, you know, it's a different thing. You're going on a fishing trip, and you already know the river got a certain kind of, tint to it, and the water got a certain kind of tint to it. So give thanks. I didn't want to interrupt your flow. I know we already in. We already going deeper in. It's just that was a question that was persistent, and I feel like I'm asking that question for someone out there, you know, including always myself.
So energetically, we're in what we call Gene Key 55. It's called the dragonfly's dream. And basically, for the dragonfly to move from being a nymph, right, which is the baby version, which is down in the swamp. It's murky, right? It's dark. It's been down there for years. It's fighting for life, fighting for survival, and everything is trying to eat it too. Mm-hmm. But at some point, the imaginal cells kick in. It crawls up on a reed or a stick, and it breathes air for the first time. Its little shell cracks open, and out comes the tender little dragonfly. But remember, it's got to move quickly because everything's trying to get it too. Right? So it breathes for the first air. It sees light for the first time. Now it's got to move up away from the gravity that's pulling it back. It's still got water on it, the swampy water from the past. When it finally unfolds its wings, they're all crumpled up. But its body is it's full of the water from the swamp. Now the water represents victimhood, challenge and struggle and all of that. That's what the swamp, in the beginning, there's always struggle. In the beginning of building anything, there's going to be opposition. If it's going to be great, there's going to be opposition. You have to know that. Now, how is the dragonfly going to inflate its wings? It pumps the water that's in its body from the swamp into its wings. Then the sun turns the wings into solar panels. And evaporates the water. It's now electrified, and it flies away, and it makes love for 2 weeks every single day. That's all it does. It only lives for 2 weeks, maybe 3.
And with that, we got to take a very special break. It's the top of the hour. You're tuned to WRFG Atlanta 89.3 FM, WRFG.org. Just warming up like the tube amps. Doctah B Sirius is in the building. Doctah B, I don't know why. I can't even say I don't know why it is. I just want to say I'm really in the mood to play some music. And I know you'd appreciate that, you know, as a musician. I should have asked you to bring your medicine drum with you, you know what I mean? You know, just do your thing. But regardless, it feels like, and I think I have a sense that we're getting ready to get into that in terms of what you're bringing to the community. You know, different modalities, different tools, again, that we have. WRFG Atlanta, 89.3 on the FM dial. Stay tuned to yourself. We'll be right forward right after this.
This program is made possible by listeners like you and the following sponsors. On Saturday, August 16th at the Green Forest Community Early Learning Center in Decatur, Africa Told by Us brings the vibrant culture of Mali to Atlanta. It's a celebration full of energy, culture, and connection by experiencing the rich traditions of Mali with live music, Malian food, handcrafted gifts, and artwork. The day features performances by poets Teresa the Songbird, Abyss, and Georgia Me, along with the dynamic rhythms of Soweto Street Beat, Keandra Richardson, and George Lovett. There will be red carpet photos and a viewing of the trailer for the new upcoming documentary series, Africa Told by Us. That's Saturday, August 16th at the Green Forest Community Early Learning Center, located at 3250 Rainbow Drive in Decatur. For ticketing information, the website is tinyurl.com/ATBU2025.
You're tuned into your station for progressive information and handpicked quality music, WRFG Atlanta, 89.3 FM. Live with Doctah B Sirius. Gets into the core.
I say to you this. I wish I could stand here today and tell you that the number one problem in this country is racism. The number one problem is sexism. I wish I could tell you the number one problem is the gap between the rich and the poor. I wish I could tell you that the number one problem is hunger. Those are all problems, but if those were the problems, we could solve them overnight. The main problem is not racism and sexism and all of that craziness. The number one problem is not them nuclear plants. The number one problem is America is morally and spiritually bankrupt. That's what the problem is. That's what the problem is. And it is our job to say to America in no uncertain terms that we're going to turn this country around. And what goes on over there in South Africa, there's no other group or nations on this planet that's more responsible for that condition than the United States of America. And as I leave you, I take great pleasure in introducing a fantastic human being, a young man that understands racism, that understands poverty, that understands all of the hurts, and he did not let that defeat him. He moved because he understands that pain is just for a few minutes and joy is definitely for a lifetime. And he set out, not just in Jamaica, but to go the world over to share this joy and to share this love and to share this great respect and to share his religion, to share his spiritual power with the whole world. And we say to you, Brother Bob, we thank you. We thank you. We thank you. And now I give you none other than Brother Bob Marley and the Wailers, ladies and gentlemen.
Pause and come again. Family here, my mic was muted on the live stream. So in essence, Dr. B, I was saying, as I was reflecting on Dick Gregory, what he was just sharing, you know, and the fact that he was introducing Bob Marley. That was a concert that was held as a fundraiser for African liberation movements. There were different army members that were there, or different representatives from Zimbabwe and other places. People who were in liberation, struggles or wars, whatever you want to call it, conflicts for their freedom, for their independence. But as we get to the core, access in the core, again, Dick Gregory, you've been laying the foundation of what we deal with. And there's a power there that we have in the midst of what may seem like, perceived like some people to be one of the worst times in the world. All these stories we tell ourselves all day on the social media and other platforms. Such a connected world in a sense. So a lot of the public discourse is about this being such a terrible time. So here come Doctah B Sirius talking about, just like Dick Gregory was talking about, like, well, we got soul power. And it's for real, it's measurable, it's tangible. It's, it's practical, all of them things. I'm being a little facetious, however, it's real, So let's get to the core access. We've spent a lot of time in sharing, our perspective on what the background story is, so that everyone's on the same page. How do we? What is it that we're accessing, and why?
When I, at one point, was seeing a therapist, I realized that I was being re-traumatized because some of that I didn't even remember. And they want you to remember it and keep coming back. And I started thinking about the many people that I've met and the challenges that they've had. And I realized the story is usually the same. It's more about the problems. And I realized that some of the problems are so deep down in your subconscious that you can't even access it. You think you can, because your conscious mind is only processing maybe 7 individual bits of information a second, where the subconscious is processing over 13 million computations or bits of information a second. So there's a lot down in the subconscious, and let's call that the basement. Let's call that the foundation. That's the hold of the boat down in there. That's where the cargo is, the cargo hold, right? So there's a lot of cargo. There's boxes. There's all this stuff in your subconscious that's like a huge file cabinet. Some of it you don't even know because it's epigenetic. It's been passed down through the environment, through your family, through the language, through the television, through social media, all those things. And now it's even AI. AI, because now we've put AI on this pedestal and it's so important, right? So down in that core, there's a bunch of stuff. Because I studied the subconscious so deeply. That's what my certificate is in, subconscious alignment. And I learned how to access parts of the subconscious that will be hidden from the conscious mind. The question was, how do we get down there? So I created this process, the core access experience. Because I'm a musician and I'm into frequency and tone very deep. I created, in 1999, I did some of the first, I created what's called medicine music. Now what they're calling frequency music. That's in 1999. We had a project called the Urban Shaman, where we'll be using the sounds and frequencies to change the frequencies of people and the room and the environment. It works very well. Sound can change everything. So what we did was we combined sound and frequency and tone, which some people are now calling a sound bath. It's deeper than a sound bath because you need rhythm. You need a certain rhythm. There are certain rhythms that I need. I was taught by people from the continent, and Dr. Kwaku Ando, one of my teachers, he was a Dogon, priest. And we always talked about rhythm and sound and looking at the plants and the rhythm of the seasons and the circadian rhythms. Everything is about rhythm. So it's just not about the frequency. It's about the rhythm of the frequency. But because I'm a drummer, I was able to realize and remember the frequencies and the rhythm and the melody that takes people into deep states of consciousness. And we use music in this activity where we help you drop deep into the theta state. And that theta state is where meditation's at. That's where creativity's at. And you're free in that state. In that state, you're in the moment and you're in a beautiful place where imagination can happen. And we move through a guided meditation and create this place. And in this place, you're able to go down in the core and remove some of the boxes. Now, here's the key. We ask people basically, what is your goal? What would you like? Pick one thing. And as soon as you pick a goal, as I was talking about earlier, that goal is met with opposition. I don't care what it is. If it's moving in one direction, there's another direction that's opposite of it. It has a shadow. So the minute we say pick something you like, we have to create a way to say it. There's a way to say it. Your subconscious is like a 5-year-old child. It doesn't even know regular English. So there's a thing called the language syntax that we create in this process. And I show you how to write out and create a language syntax so that both sides of your brain can take you into what's called a whole brain state. Most people, I don't care how much meditation you do, how many martial arts, how much sage and how many bowls and how much positiveness, you most likely have never been in a whole brain state. You're always leaning one way or the other about almost everything. This process drops you into a whole brain state where you have access to all your stuff instantaneously without working, without trying. This is amazing. And when you're in that state, we're able to go down and pull out the opposition to the goal you just chose. So let's say it's wealth, because a lot of us, seem like we got some type of an agreement with being poor. We almost see it as a badge of honor that we're broke and we don't have it. And only rich people. And, this is like a mindset that, you're supposed to not have anything to be righteous. That's not a fact. That's just a mindset. So let's say it's being wealthy or being prosperous or manifesting love or healing. We're able to, with this process, actually bring that to be. We're able to change the subconscious programming around that one issue in one session, not 20 sessions, one session. Imagine being able to have the treasure map to the pot of gold. That's why this is so powerful, because you don't have to work at it. It's actually play. It's frequency. Once we get that goal, we will remove the opposition in your subconscious. It opens up like a wind. Then after that, we do something that I'm not even going to mention on the air. It is so powerful, this thing that we do. After we have obtained this state, this mind state, this whole brain state, you have to lock it in so that the whole universe hears what it is you desire. This process is a process that helps us gain access to the core of subconscious programming that may be keeping us from achieving higher goals and reaching peak potential in all areas of life. The core access experience. Brother, we would love for you to come and experience this, because no matter who we are, so some people say we're community leaders. We are dealing with opposition every day in our personal lives.
Definitely.
If you don't work the farm, what happens? The weeds take over, right?
Serious thing.
This is a process of weeding out the garden. Yeah. Everybody in the area around this sees the change. It changes the dimensions of the space.
I'm checking out the flyer, a portion of the flyer you sent me, and one of them says one of the slides, if you want to call it that, says detach and deactivate, release and detach the cords of undefined stress, subconscious anxiety, and outdated emotional programs. Dr. B, as obvious as it may seem, in terms of the effect that keeping this junk have, what kind of noticeable effect does it have for us to hold on to these things instead of taking time to find out how to release them? They're not in the front of the mind. We got a bunch of other stuff that's on the table, like right now. I got, bills. I got decisions to make about, program I want to join. I got this, that, and the third. I got relationship stuff. I got children. I got, all these different things, why do I have time for that? How is that going to free up my time? How is that going to benefit me and free up my time to do more of what I really got to do?
Once
it seemed like when we talk about subconscious, the connotation is off in the distance and, not necessarily deeply effective or deeply affecting our reality, kind of remote.
Our subconscious is having more effect on us than anything else. It's what keeps your heart beating. It's what, when you get cut, how does it heal? How does it know to heal? That's the subconscious. It keeps you breathing. When you wake up in the morning, you don't have to remember how to walk. You see, it's automatic. It's the autonomic nervous system. It is running the show, but it's based on programming. It's based on the past. It's based on experiences. So the conscious mind and the subconscious mind really don't even speak the same language. Look, I deal with a lot of clients that I have are very successful. They're wealthy.
True.
Why are they coming to see me? Because they know with that success comes its opposite. And they are constantly tuning and tuning up. A fine automobile must be tuned. The oil must be changed, because even if you are in all the conscious movements, you're doing everything, meditation, yoga, all of that, there's still some junk in the trunk. I guarantee you. And because I'm a kinesiologist, we can muscle test and see if that stuff is there and what it is. Some folks are blown away. I had a minister one time. I don't want to say his name. He's a famous minister. And he came to me and he was like, Dr. B, I'm dealing with this, blah, 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 blah. And I said, well, do you believe in God? He was like, he looked at me like, what do you mean? What you mean, do I believe in God? Every week, and I've read the Bible. I read the Bible once a week, and I blah, blah, blah. I said, so you definitely know God. There's no doubt. That's right. I said, well, let's do a muscle test. And we did a muscle test. And when we asked the question, his arm went weak, which meant that his subconscious didn't believe. His ego, his mindset believes. You believe you're conscious, but you're conscious so deep that you have forgotten that there's some other stuff that's still riding you, and it's weight, it's cargo, it's holding you back. You could excel even more if you had this peace, this love, if you had this harmony. So what we're going to do is retune and retool and recalibrate you for the thing you desire now. Pick one thing. You pick one. You can't do 20 of them, because sometimes I ask people what they desire and they got a long list. The subconscious says we can't pick none of them. It's too many. Pick one. We pick that one thing and we take that through this process, the core access experience. We drop that in and it automatically begins to move away from opposition. You actually destroy opposition. Everything around the desire, right? If it's something that's in opposition, it could be, you might see the what they call the color Coca-Cola red. Did you know that when you see Coca-Cola red, it ties into Santa Claus? Did you know that Coca-Cola red is the color of Santa Claus's outfit? And did you know that Coca-Cola created basically the modern day Santa Claus so that people would drink Coke, which had cocaine in it, and the snow and everything, and the sled and all this stuff goes back to cocaine. Now, there may be a Christmas where you didn't get something you desired and you were pissed at your parents. You don't even hardly remember that now, but it's in your subconscious. It has to do with losing and not getting and not achieving. So you may feel in a subconscious way that you're not the best because your brother or your sister got more than you. Guess what? Now you're here attempting to do this great thing. But what you don't know is at the subconscious level, the issue is in the tissue stored in your body about the disbelief that you're good enough. A whole lot of us don't feel worthy. And some of us, even as speakers and teachers, we're up on the stage, people are following, we got 1 million followers, but when the lights go off, when the camera's off, it's like, man, wow, I got this, and you listen to the voice, I don't know, how am I gonna, and everybody's pulling on me. I remember when I became a very successful record producer, my first song I really wrote was "Got to Give It Up" by Marvin Gaye. 16 years old. I wrote the music. I created the music for "Got to Give It Up." Now, my manager stole it and sold it to Marvin Gaye, and it's a whole controversy. But the word is, people starting to know now that this child wrote that music. I didn't write the lyrics and the melody, but I had to give it up. The song became "Got to Give It Up." And if I didn't give that song up, right, I wouldn't be where I am today, because I realized from that people all over the world love what I create. It changed me, even though I felt it was stolen, but it needed to be stolen. So, because I could, even if I got the credit, do you know, at about 21 years old, I'd have had about $15 million at a time when I didn't know who I was lost, I was crazy, I had issues. I was into all the substances that was happening because, it's the 70s, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have made it. I wouldn't be here now if I had gotten everything that I'm supposed to get. So they say, you were ripped off. I says, well, I was ripped forward.
Yeah, right.
Because then I became, after that, a very successful record producer.
The Stumbling Blocks became stepping stones.
Man.
They were transformed to stepping stones.
I took the swamp water and pumped it into my wings.
Sure.
From the sand and from the ashes, what will rise? The phoenix. They're telling us it's part of the system, but since we're at this time where we're changing between now and 2027, right? Everything's going to change. We're having a polar flip. All these alignments and movements, everything is happening. It keeps coming at us. We're at a place we've never been at. We're in a place in the universe we've never been before. We're in the photon band. Do you even know what that means to be in the photon band or the photon belt? And how much light energy and biophotons are attempting to wake us up, wake up, and move against opposition. Put it behind me. Tell the devil, get behind me. Tell opposition to get behind you. Well, how am I going to do that, Doctah B? I don't feel good, and I'm depressed, and I got this, and I did the ayah, and I did the frog, and I did the mushes, and I did all this stuff, and I still... After about 2-3 weeks, I'm back at home again. It's because we haven't gone to the core yet. So in this process, what you're going to do is you're going to come to this process, because I don't want to hear it later. Well, Doctah B, I wish I was there. Get there, because we did one about a month and a half ago, and everybody there, his life has already changed. We got people that have been in struggle for most of their lives, and after they did this, everything cleared up, even physical, what they call it, this dis-ease, because this is a technology that never existed. And Dick Gregory, one of my teachers and my mentor, told me that I had special abilities and that I would be creating some things that had never existed before. And that's what I'm doing. I'm offering it to each one of you. So we don't have the same excuses about how I want to do this, but you see, no, let's get off our butts right now. Some folks say, well, Doctah B, these things are always high. They're high price and they're expensive. They're expensive because when you invest in moving towards the gold mine, you'll get the pot of gold. If I said there's going to be a pot of gold on Sunday, everybody comes, gets a pot of gold. Guess what? All of a sudden, everybody can afford to be there. Well, guess what? This is the pot of gold. This is what we've been looking for. I don't need to know all the problems and all the trauma and become a traumaholic and meet traumatic people and talk about that stuff forever. We got to get clear. We got to get crystal clear. We got to tap into the true Christ consciousness, and Christ means crystallized imagination. So come with your imagination, come be open and tap into all of the elements. We're using sound, frequency, directions. We're using all the elements, and the frequencies that I'm using, it ain't just a 432 frequency. There's 528, there's 414 or 417. There's all these frequencies, and this music that I'm playing while we're moving into this special place we tap into the divinity code. Would you like to tap into your divinity code? Sunday. We did one once before. A lot of folks said they couldn't make it. That was about a month and a half ago. So we said, let's do another one. So it's a beautiful place, a beautiful space. Come ready to what? Realize your dreams. Come bring your stuff so we can help you get rid of your stuff in 4 hours. And check this out. So from 12 to 4, we're doing the process. from 4 to 6, that's going to be a time when you come together with people of like minds. They're going to be VIP folks there, folks you need to meet. You understand what I'm saying? This is a mixer also. Food's involved. We're going to have healthy food, healthy drinks. The tea that I'm going to make is going to be enough to change your mindset. This tea, this one tea that folks will get, it comes with it. So when you're there, you're in and around people who are all moving towards their goals. And because it's a group subconscious alignment, what they call the collective unconscious kicks in, where we're all one at this level. So everybody's energy together is all working to remove the baggage on all our stuff. This is huge. And it's never existed before. And we don't know how many times we're ever going to be able to do something like this. Some people go, well, we'll catch the next one. How do you know it's going to be a next one? How do you know? So if you can, if you're able, come on down and have this experience in Atlanta, live, tapping into the core, accessing the stuff down in your subconscious that needs to be removed. And some of it, you don't even know it's there. Let's go.
Doctah B Sirius on the radio. 404-523-8989 is the number. 404-523-8989 is the number. You know, we can't really give call to action. We would like to say that you're tuned into yourself, and we are grateful for the opportunity to reflect that beautiful light. Look at the mirror. How sweet it is. Doctah B Sirius is with us. Doctah B, you know, I know that according to somebody's clock, time is moving and everything. I really want to ask you about some music.
Yes.
There's something, I remember when I first met you, you started talking about, you shared a lot about musicians who used to bend the notes. Again, from the space of finding tools, you know, or aligning with tools, from the space of using, recognizing, even, you know, what is already right there in our face, in our hands, in our hearts. Talk to us about the role that music in itself plays in the true liberation process. Like music as an entity. We ain't talking about anybody's particular music, you know, but you mentioned sound before, of course, and how crucial that is. How crucial is it for real?
The whole universe is made of music and sound and frequency. Frequency is how frequently is something happening. This is an orchestra or an orchestra that we're involved with. The planet itself has certain frequencies, plants, everything. In fact, when I got into to medicine, making, you know, natural products, I learned that the plants all had frequencies because I'm from music. I'm a musician. And I started hearing the plants. I said, wait a minute. Is this what George Washington Carver was talking about? They're talking to me. So I started putting together combinations of herbs that most folks would never even use. I said, but see, musically, they create harmony. You may not even think that this particular plant goes with this one because most of us are reading the traditional language or the traditional books on herbology, which all comes from basically almost the same source. There's other stuff that didn't get written down that's talking to you. So listen, you could plant a plant, right? And put it in the ground and wait for it to grow. Or you could take that same plant, that same seed, put it in your mouth. Put it in your hand and let it sweat for a while. Breathe on it a certain way. And that plant, that seed takes on the energetic field that you are. Now that plant becomes your medicine. It's your music. It's listening to your sound because we are musicians. Your body's shaped like an instrument. You're a drum. You're a horn. You're a stringed instrument. We're part of string theory. We're part of the quantum field. We're part of everything. You see? So it's empowerment when you know that you have the power to do something and not waiting for somebody or waiting for people to tell you or reading in a book. So the type of herbology that I'm into is metaphysical. It's on a whole nother level, even with parasites. You know, my specialty is parasites, right? People say, well, look, you know, Doctah B, you know, I took, you know, black walnut and blah, 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 blah for parasites. I said, yeah, that's good for intestinal parasites. But do you know about systemic parasites? And they're like, well, what's that? Those parasites are the superbugs. Some of them were made as bioweapons. Some of them are weaponized. Did you know They even have some bioweapons that were created for certain cultures or certain people, certain races. They actually created ethno-specific bioweapons. Now, all of this is in the entire atmosphere now because you can't isolate something. You dropped it off in some country and now it evaporated up into the clouds and it rains all over the world. So we have all of this. You see, so my specialty in parasites is I'm dealing with the systemic parasites, the ones that live throughout the body. How are you going to get to them? How are you going to get to toxoplasma, which 70% of the people in the world have, which is a brain parasite, which controls your emotions? It has you underacting, overacting, believing in some stuff and twisting your brain up. Some people say, well, it's only in cats. No, it's in everything now. 70% of the people have it. It creates that twisted mind, that fear whenever you're moving towards your goal. So when we are tapping into our true self, our original self, you got to go down into what they call the id. That's the basic you before the programming. You see, now you're down at the root. But throughout life, mental, physical, spiritual, and environmental parasites, which we call the opposition, will be pulling on you. They're going to. That's what they do. Gravity's job is to pull you down when you try to go up. So whether it be with the Parasite Cleanse program that we have at elevationtime.com, or whether it's doing something like this core access, we're dealing with the things that are in opposition to where we're going. And where we're going right now, let me tell you, there's never been a time like this. Let me tell you, listen to me. All that illusion out there that's happening in the media, it's on purpose. It's on purpose to get you to spin out of control and to feed the toxoplasmic thoughts that you may have about how bad it is. Whenever they say it's bad, it's bad, it's bad, guess what? It's connected to its opposite. This is an amazing time. This is time. This is the time for our liberation or more of our lockdown. It's up to each one of us.
Seriously. So since we've made those of us who are tuned in, those of us who are gathered with you, sitting around the family fire, we've made the conscious decision to tap into the liberation aspect of this time. So for you to come through with such a gift, again, of course, we can't mention the price and all this stuff, but please give us the information about the core access experience taking place this strong in. And I want to make an appointment, make a public, invitation for you to come again and bring your medicine drum. And let's just focus strictly on music. Not just your medicine drum, of course, bring some music too, bring some tunes, because those who know music is the healing force of the universe. And so I think of, if I got the chance to talk to Bob Marley, with all the things that he did, my choice of what I would speak with him about would probably be football, soccer, because he was so passionate about it. The way I know Dr. B passionate about music, that's how I met you. That's right. What we want to hear. I know you got some new music coming out too, and it's ridiculous. I'm sure. Do you have any new releases?
We have the new we call the Sonic Immersion 3, which is on YouTube. There was a Sonic Immersion 2 that, oh my gosh, people from all over the world tapped in. But there's now a Sonic Immersion 3, which is medicine music that takes you into certain states of consciousness.
Right.
But I also have another project coming out. It's called Allow. It has the song I Allow, which folks remember from God Power 2, but it actually has a new version of it. And this project is off the chain. And the main single will be called The Sun. In fact, I'll be putting out in about 2 weeks. And these are songs you can dance to. These are grooves that you can dance to, right? But they take you into that state. So I'm creating music now. Some of it sounds commercial, but it takes you into the state of consciousness where you can take control. Yeah, and I'm glad you said
that's powerful. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
I'm glad you said to come in and actually, bring the medicine drum. Because a lot of folks are asking, well, Dr. B, can I go to your website? Can I get some music that does the same thing as the core? No, because it's happening live. Right. I'm playing the music. I'm playing instruments live. It's happening, and it's never the same because life is never repeating itself.
Right.
It's happening live. So I would love to come and play the medicine drum. And I've got a couple new instruments I'd like to bring that are actually, I have something that's being created, some instruments being created for me at this particular time. I'd love to bring them and play them and let you feel them.
True.
And that experience, that live experience, because we're so used to living online, people have forgotten that there are frequencies that cannot be transmitted digitally.
Mm-hmm.
It's the analog feeling. It's in the air. It's in the environment. So like with our core access experience, that music will be only for that time, those sounds, those rhythms. And it's not just music. It's a place and a space that we're creating by using this subconscious alignment technique and kinesiology. It's powerful. So music, the best music is always going to be live. You want to ever go see Bob Marley, it was never going to be the same. It might be the same song, but it's a different vibe, a different energy, because history never repeats itself. It's happening now.
You said that twice, and that's it's a beautiful way to seal up, in that circle, because when the first time you just said it a little while ago, I was chuckling to myself. If one thing Doctah B steady saying that got me talking to my TV when I listen to it, or talking back to my radio, is that right there. This thing of history not repeating itself. Because I understand, I see that life is fluid. So, and at the same time, to keep it simple, I see that there's not one new drop of water. According to what I've learned, maybe you have something different. There's not one new drop of water in existence. It's all recycled. There's nothing that when you say new, So when you say history doesn't repeat itself.
Even if somebody tells a story, because his story, it's never the same. When you're remembering something from the past, you're remembering the anchors, the main stuff you remember. I say, well, okay, well, that happened to you. Well, what color shirt were you wearing? I don't know. What difference does that make? Makes a big difference. What color shirt? How many birds were in the sky? What temperature was it that day? You're like, no, see, you're not getting down to the heart of the matter. We are, because the environment had a lot to do with what happened.
No, I see what you're saying. So you're saying that all the nuances are not the same. That maybe the principle repeats itself time and time again.
Yes.
But of course, then, yeah. So that's just one of the things about the English language. I'm glad I cleared that up. Because the English language can mean 5 things, can mean one thing, So yeah, that's very clear. That's very clear. Yes.
So I used to go out to
the river is fluid. Go ahead.
I used to go out and play with the drummers in the park, right? And they were traditional drummers from the continent, and they had these rhythms they would play. And they were like, okay, and they would tell me what to play, and I'd play something else. And they're like, wait, whoa, stop it, man. What are you doing? I said, I'm playing to that. I'm playing something with that, right? And they were like, no, you can't. It's not traditional. It's sacrilegious. I said, so you want me to play exactly what they played? I can't, number one. Number two, I can't come and bring my part, because whoever came up with this rhythm, it came through them. And what's coming through me is telling me to add my piece to it. You are disrespectful. Get out of the circle. So they would always kick me out of the drum circle because I would not play the exact same thing. I said, why don't you just get the record, get the recording? You know what I'm saying? They said, well, no, you're tapping into God. God is in me. I am part of the universal system called what you call God. And what's coming through me has, like, even right now, this whole existence is happening for the first time. Today is happening for the first time.
Yes.
You and I, even though you brought me to Atlanta for the first time, people know that. Brother Ross Kofi brought me here to do a lecture many years ago at our WRFG. And that's one of the things that made me choose to come here, along with Brother Eugene, who was like, man, you have to get here because LA is dying. You know what I'm saying? From Eugene from Grow Where You Are. And between y'all two, between me coming here and having the experience and him in my ear, I said, let me plant my roots right here. And that's because I realized I had to change and get out of where I was comfortable. And this is key. If you stay where you're comfortable, you're going to die. Would you like to die quickly? Stay as you are. Keep your stuff. Don't change. Don't grow. Talking about, this is how I am. This is just the way I am. My family's this. Well, you might as well go on and make sure you got all your insurance papers together, because entropy is going to take you out of here. You have to constantly change and grow. And if your ego says, I got this together, and I'm the healer, and I'm the teacher, and I'm the this, and I'm the yogic master, will keep doing it the same way, and you can't grow. Music is constantly changing. The universe is constantly changing. The trees, I'm looking out at the trees right now. Those leaves and those branches they've never been there before. They're in new positions every year, every leaf, every tree. The soil is changing. The bacteria in the soil is changing.
And think about how dynamic that is, how empowering that is. For myself, I can speak for myself. I know that's probably the reason why you're sharing it, just to reemphasize what you're saying. When you realize that all of that energy, all of that is flowing through you, all of that animated nature, as they say, whatever you want to call it, that whole reality is literally floating through. So you're in that stream of consciousness.
Yes.
That river is floating through you. And Vincent Hardin talking about a river run through, like for real. Yes. A river runs through I am.
Yes. So we are not the same. In 7 years, all of your cells, even your bones, have changed. Mm-hmm. You get new skin every month. You get a new stomach lining, new lungs every month or two. Your body is changing. The only thing that stays the same is your mindset if you're stuck. I'm changing. Ross Kofi, somebody called me one day. They said, Dr. B, man, I see you doing a lecture, man, when you just started your locks. This is when I used to have locks. And it's from the year 2000. And you're drinking this orange drink. What is that orange drink you're drinking? I was like, huh? What are you drinking? And then he said, I'm not sure. He says, okay, well, you talked about such and such. Can you tell me more about that? I said, I'm going to be honest with you, sir. I don't even know that guy. I don't even agree with him. Right. That dude was crazy. I listened to some of that stuff and I'm like, what? Even something I said last year, somebody might try to hold me down. Man, that's what you said. That's what I said at that time. I'm changing and growing. I used to feel that you had to be a vegan, right, to be healthy. I used to really believe that. I was into the religion of veganism. I was religious. I was a what they call a zealot, till I realized veganism has taken some people off the planet. Some people can't deal with the lectins in certain plants, in certain foods. Everybody's not the same. And you can't tell me I can't be conscious, because one of the most conscious people I ever met eats pork chops. That's deep. I know I said it on the air. This person, they eat pork chops and they're good at what they do. They can make things dematerialize and move things. They eat pork chops. But see, judgment comes in. And we start judging them. Oh, they couldn't be such and such. How you doing, Dr. B? Greetings, or what they say, grand rising. Listen to your voice. You don't sound too grand. It don't sound like we're going to rise, because a lot of times we're caught up in the look of something and the sound of something or the belief in something. We are constantly changing. And I am saying that we have to find out who we are indivisibly and individually. And then we've got to really be ourselves. But let's go down in the core and find out what's in your basement that you are not aware of. And remove it. That's what the core access experience is about. And it's for everybody, anybody who would like to take out some trash on Sunday and remove some of that stuff. Whew, this is a powerful time. There has never been a time like this. I don't care what they're saying is happening on the news. They are tricking you. This is propaganda. Almost everything in the media, even the social media, is still propaganda. You better prop yourself up, right, and figure out who you are. You got to line up your ducks, keep your ducks lined up, and realize that what they're saying is for likes. What they're doing is like news. They say the news that bleeds is the news that leads. You mean to tell me when I look at the news, there's no good news? How could that be possible? For today, there's no good news. That's impossible. If there's bad news, if there's 25 stories of bad news, then there's at least 25 stories of good news. What is the good news? We are at the place where we always decided and chose to be. We've got to let go of some of this baggage and let go of our old selves and be ready to change and get out of entropy and do something brand new that we've never done before. Move out of your town, move out of your space, move out of your mindset. And let's grow some new vegetables, some new herbs. Let's make a new garden. That's the Garden of Eden.
Talk about it, Doctah B Sirius on the radio. This is the Ancestral Rock, Doctah B. Thanks for joining us. I got to play an announcement. and be right forward with more information. Or you're welcome to stay. You know, we could ride with you till we seal. You know, there's so much that is very right about what you're sharing. You know, and I use that word deliberately. Very right, very fertile. You know, very fertile, and this truly does feel like one of those times that we study in history, when we study so-called history, his story, her story, any which way you want to slice it. Different time,
Luciano?
different. Lucy.
Was that Luciano, the reggae singer?
I feel so, you know, big up yourself, Lucy. I'm not quite sure. I saw that too.
If that is that person, let's go. I'm also looking to get with Andre 3000 and work out something and do something together with him. So if people know how to contact him, tell him that Doctah B is ready. Let's make some medicine music together. And if Luciano, if that's you from the Caribbean, please reach out to Ross Kofi or anybody and let's go, man. I got a track for you right now.
I will.
Much love.
Messenger. Yeah, so you know, anyway, this is this. The phone number is 404-523-8989. 404-523-8989 is the phone number.
On August 15th and 16th, the Beacon Hill Alliance for Human Rights will host its 5th annual Pan-African Festival in downtown Decatur, Georgia. The festival kicks off on August 15th with the airing of the films Reparations, From Concept to Reality, and Freedom at Decatur High School Center of Performing Arts. On August 16th, the Pan-African Festival continues in front of the DeKalb History Center, where the festival begins with the Youth Power Hour. Entertainment will continue with adults from 4 to 10, including a children's village, an African marketplace, and food court with vendors represented from the African diaspora. The festival highlights include renowned spoken word artist Georgia Me and Afro-Indigenous artist Moo Fresh. Again, that's the 5th annual Pan-African Street Festival. For more information, the website is beaconhillblackalliance.org. This has been another public service announcement from your station for progressive information, WRFG 89.3.
Your station for progressive information and handpicked quality music. Doctah B, as we let you go into the evening time, the early evening, the afternoon, people calling and asking again for a repeat of the fundamentals, the when, the where, we already know, the why, and any information where we could get in touch with you for more substantial information.
One thing really quickly. My phone is lighting up. People saying, is it okay to eat pork, Doctah B? Is that what you're saying? That's not what I'm saying at all. Please note that Doctah B is not saying to go get a pork chop. You know, he's not saying that. Doctah B is not eating pork and eat mostly healthy vegetables and fruits. You know, so let's be careful with that. But the event is the Core Access Experience. It's happening in East Point. My phone is lighting up. People are sending me this. This guy says, and then let me tell you, man. Let me tell you. The guy that I knew in Los Angeles that used to eat pork chops was hunting the pigs himself. They weren't eating trash. And he was doing rituals and ceremonies that I can't even explain to you. So I don't run out. Doctah B said you can eat pork chops.
Somebody had to answer their bed like, oh, baby, I think you're free.
Let's go to the store. Pork chops is on sale. No, eat what your mind tells you to eat, or your consciousness, what's best for you and your consistency. And then if you definitely eat pork chops and all that stuff, you definitely got to get a cleanse. So come see me at elevationtime.com. But this weekend, Sunday, from 12 until 6, it's going to be at the Network ATL meeting spot over in East Point. Go to elevationtime.com. Elevationtime.com. And on the homepage, you'll go down and you'll see where you can purchase a ticket. You see, and it gives you it tells you everything that's happening there. And also, you can go to my LinkedIn, which is on YouTube. You can go to my LinkedIn, which is also on IG. And you'll see the event. It is the Core Access Experience. And what this is all about, just really quickly, it is a process that helps us gain access to the core of our subconscious programming that may be keeping us from achieving higher goals and reaching peak potential in all areas of our life. If you would like to meet somebody, you feeling like you're lonely, you like to meet somebody, or you just, you'd like to be with somebody, come there, you'll meet them. Afterwards, it's gonna be a party. There's gonna be a networking thing where you'd like to know about money. There's gonna be folks there that know about money and investments. You'd like to know about farming. Ross Kofi is being invited. You want to talk about farming and how to grow and how to build. There's gonna be people there that build. So whatever you desire is all gonna be in the building. That's the power of coming together in oneness as a crystal unit and tapping into the music of the universe. The music of the spheres is happening right now. We're an orchestra. So that's this weekend on Sunday in Atlanta. No, it will not be live streamed. No, we can't record it. It's impossible to record these type of events. This is something that's happening at this time. Even the date is important. We're not going to get into that. The date that we chose, where we're choosing to do it at, all of it is possible. All of it's part of the ley lines on the planet. It gets deep. So we're going to tap in. That's this Sunday, the Core Access Experience. And go to elevationtime.com if you'd like to join us, or go to my LinkedIn on IG. And that's from 12 to 6 in Atlanta, live on the ground this Sunday. This is going to be a beautiful event. I'm so excited about this because we've been looking to share this for a long time, but we were told there were certain things we couldn't share because I have oaths with different tribes and things that I've worked with or I'm part of. And there's certain things you can't share until certain times. Right. So we were never able to share this until now.
And we give thanks for the moment. Everything as we have been talking all day in different ways. We've been illustrating it so beautifully for us. The river flows. The river flows through us. Stay tuned. We're coming in with more fire on your station for progressive information and handpicked quality music. Dr. B, thanks for joining us, beloved.
Thank you for having me. Much love and travel light. You don't need all that luggage. Come dump it off.
I share.
Thank you.
So let me be your ruler. You can call me Queen Bee, and baby I'll rule. Come sing my reality. My friends and I, we crack the code. We count our dollars on the train to the party. And everyone who knows us knows that we are, because we say we are. Now everybody's like, come on, let's celebrate. Finally we're getting cake. Every day we hustle and try to feel as we the other dog don't have no fear. So if we sing about don't see paybacks, diamonds in our top.
I'm gonna break out of this so you can go to whatever you gotta go to.
Give us free from this love affair, cause we're already royal. See you running our blood. We just been having time for love. We need a different kind. Stay by our side. Bridge up. Give us all your blessings. Bridge up. ain't not sure. She was gone astray. And show them the way to
You're listening to WRFG Atlanta. WRFG provides a voice for those who have been traditionally denied open access to the broadcast media through the involvement of a broad base of community elements to maintain access. Any utilization of the station's facilities and its programming, the following communities will receive first priority. Those who continue to be denied free and open access to the broadcast media, and those who suffer oppression or exploitation based upon class, race, sex, age, creed, sexual orientation, disability, or immigrant status. The views and opinions expressed may not necessarily reflect that of the artist's spirit, craft, or life portion of this program is being recorded. Listener discretion is advised.
Well, over here on my left, not on your right. And lead vocal tonight. Donald Shaw, we call him Tabby. Let's do a round of watch it. I will. On the gate. Right in the center. Young smiles at night. Look at him.